All right. Welcome to another Lightning Ventures founder interview. We are hanging with Felipe of Sati today, and we are talking about Bitcoin and WhatsApp and all of that to billions of people. Um, and let's just start this off with giving a little rundown of our favorite platform here, X. You can follow Felipe here on X, CEO and founder of Sati, and that's Hey Sati. Their website address is sati.pro. And by the way, if you sign up for Sati, I think you might get some free sats. So go ahead and try that. I'm not sure, but I think that's the case. And we're going to find out here in a moment and hopefully do a demo. Sati.pro is the website. It's very easy to sign up. I made a wallet earlier. I'm not sure if I can show it or if we can have some fun with the demo, but you just click the button there, and that's pretty much it for that. So, okay. First off, the real question is, and by the way, we just did a quick pitch video where Felipe walked through the deck and had all sorts of fun with that. First off, how are you today and where are you today?
No bad. Again, thanks for the invitation. I'm based in Tulum, Mexico. For the people that are kind of close to the east area of the US, for sure you have visited Cancun. If not, you should. It's like a beautiful area in the coast of Mexico, and it's really close. It's like an hour from Cancun. For some reason, the Bitcoiners love the beach, so a movement of Bitcoiners is happening also here in Tulum, and yeah, trying to disrupt fast Bitcoin around the world from a nice weather place.
Well, you've built quite a company, and we're going to hopefully talk about some of your big fancy investors have invested, and all the crazy metrics for how this is, and hopefully also the big picture, because a Bitcoin wallet is a tough business. So we're going to dig right into it. So first off, the real question is, why WhatsApp?
So the simple answer is about distribution. It's a combination about the persona that we're trying to attract, the persona that we're trying to solve the problem, which is moving money or getting access to a solid asset. Like there is no second best, we already know that, but it's difficult to access. So WhatsApp is allowing us to get into the hand of 3 billion users around the world. It's pretty much the number one communication app around the world. For some reason, is famous everywhere, but in the US have like a different mechanisms. But also, we have seen a trend in the US with citizens that have some kind of ties into another country or a region like Europe. Normally, they have WhatsApp. Uh, Users that have some kind of Latin family, they have WhatsApp. If they are immigrants from, let's say, India or the Southeast Asia region, they have WhatsApp. So the combination is like a place where we can get to these users faster. As I said, 3 billion is a lot of users in the world, but also it solves a lot of problems. When we start like doing research about how to bring people into a decentralized finance world, we figure out that most of the solutions involve an app. And we also discover, as I explained a couple minutes ago, people don't have this fancy phone of the last version of Samsung, right? For an example, they have any other phone with limited storage, and this is preventing them to install the last fancy fintech solution. By deploying everything in WhatsApp, they don't need to install anything. So no downloads, no apps, just like smooth transactions on Bitcoin. That's why we decided to go with WhatsApp. And on top of that, there is a big trend in the new generation, Gen Zs and Alpha generation, where they're really familiar with bots. So we think bots are part of the future, and that's why we're building it.
So essentially, anyone that uses WhatsApp, which is everyone, can now have a Bitcoin wallet in their pocket built in.
That's correct. It is a wallet. It is embedded with your phone number. It's protected by encryption, and it's a combination of your phone number plus a PIN that you define. Without that, no one can access your funds. And we think that the simplest that we can do this experience, the more convenient it's going to be for more people. And then they will stop thinking about like seed phrases or like block times, right? And instead of that, we just talk about moving Bitcoin fast.
So we're going to get into all the fun technical stuff like custodial and non-custodial and lightning addresses and sending to a phone number and all that fun stuff. But primarily, who uses Sati, or who is this product for? Is it for more so the individual, the person who's getting into Bitcoin? Is it more so for the business accounts that want to accept Bitcoin payments, maybe natively in their business WhatsApp account? I mean, who did you have in mind when you created this company?
So we have a big hypothesis about who could be the force to get adoption. At the beginning, we thought the biggest force is merchants, and I can tell the spoiler is not right. The merchants are not the one that can push the adoption, and this is because the one that commands the flow is the one with the money. So in this case, the one starting the transaction or the one that trying to use the asset has a better like has a better way to justify they are gonna push everyone to accept it or not. So in other words, we know now that the individual that holds Bitcoin has more leverage over the ones that want to receive Bitcoin. Even if the desire is bigger on the other side, I am the one holding. So the personas we have identified, I can say it's Sati is for everyone, right? That's the main thing. And one analogy easy to understand is that we don't have Venmo. This is the thing. I'm from Mexico. I live like 6 years in the Bay Area. I was enjoying my time with like systems that already work. Venmo is one of them, right? To be able to send money to anyone with just a phone number or something, and everyone has Venmo. But we don't have Venmo in Argentina. We don't have Venmo in Brazil. We don't have Venmo in Mexico. For sure, they don't have Venmo in Nigeria. So this experience is not existing in the market, and with this the mobility of money is low, and we think everyone should have access to this. That's why I think Sati is for everyone. We have identified three different profiles. The most common one is the remittances user, right? They want to move money from one place to another, cross border normally, and the combination is something that is almost 100% of the times is a better off country to a worse off country. And it could be just a little, just like if this country has a slightly better economic condition, it will flow more that way. And the typical one is the US to Mexico, but we are also experimenting different flows like Mexico to Colombia. So just slightly better, and then the flow is going that way. The most common one, Argentina, Venezuela. The two of them suffering with high inflation, but still Argentina is just slightly better in terms of economic opportunities. So the money moved that way. The second persona is these tech workers or like knowledge workers. So a lot of coders, a lot of designers that work again for a better market, and they move the money either with Bitcoin or stable coins. And the final one that we were not expecting, and this is some alpha for you guys, is that there's something that we call agents. So around the world, there are like almost 20 million people that every day the only job they do is to exchange between currencies. So it's a foreign exchange business, but in a peer-to-peer level. So they normally hold dollars and they exchange this to local money, but the whole market since 2 years ago is moving into the stable coins and Bitcoin. So now they're doing, okay, I accept USDT and I can give you Argentinian pesos. I accept Bitcoin and I can give you Argentinian pesos. So at the beginning we thought they were just like normal users. They are like, yeah, we're just exchanging between two different tokens, you want to call it. But no, the day to day is in fact this business. They want to do this as a business. They do arbitrage with other people doing peer to peer, and Bitcoin and stable coins are replacing the physical dollar in a lot of countries. So yeah, these three personas are the biggest for Sati currently.
So I experienced the agents a little bit when I went to Africa, and everyone was a money transmitter. Your barber,
Yeah.
everyone there. There's these stands by the side of the road, so I'm a little familiar with that. Um, so when somebody wants to use this for a remittance play to send money, can they cash it out then in their local currency, or is it just a stable coin? How do they exit?
Yeah, so currently we have different flows to get out the system. The most common one that we try to educate people is that they should keep their money in something stable. That's why Bitcoin is a solution. Some of them prefer to have the dollar just because of the familiarity with the concept of the dollar. But sometimes they cannot save, right? They need to use it. So they can now ramp off Sati and then use it with fiat. So in countries like Mexico, Colombia, and Argentina, we have signed partnerships with ramp providers. So for anyone that is not like familiar with the concept, a ramp is just a service where you send Bitcoin or stable coins in a token shape, and they exchange that to fiat. And then this fiat can be sent to your bank account. So in countries like Mexico, now we have ramp ons and ramp offs. The ramp off is really simple. You send the Bitcoin with Sati, and then 1 minute later, you receive your pesos in your city bank account. Because Mexico has city, we have the API connected there. It's really, really simple. The business model is, of course, arbitrage. So it's something about 1 to 1.5% of each transaction. But some cool things that we have here is also the ramp on, because now you can go to a 7-Eleven in Mexico. We have around 2,000 stores in the country. You can go to the 7-Eleven and tell the cashier, hey, I want to pay this bill. Because in Mexico, it's common to go and then pay for your energy bill, your water bill, as like normal stuff in a 7-Eleven. You can also say, I want to pay the Sati bill. And you just show the numbers or the barcode. They scan it, they take your cash, or they can take also credit card, and effectively, in a 7-Eleven, you can buy Bitcoin or you can buy USDT. So it's super magical the first time you try, because you just walk in, give the money, and then you receive a notification on WhatsApp. And magic, right? You just bought Bitcoin in a 7-Eleven. And 7-Eleven doesn't know that they are actually helping people to access Bitcoin. Why? Because we have this kind of complex structure where everything is a service, but then it needs to be ramp on, and then finally everything is processed by Sati. But for the user, it's just 1,000 pesos, 50 USDT, And yeah, we think these kind of implementations can extend into the rest of the continent, but we're experimenting about like what is the best way to do it.
So I want to ask you about custodial, non-custodial, getting a bot approved by WhatsApp. I actually know nothing about that process. What does it take to get a bot approved? Is there a rigorous sort of vetting process similar to like an Apple App Store? And how does that work? And kind of what you had to go through on your journey for that.
Yeah, it's complicated. I don't want to just like glorify the team, but something that we consider unfair advantage is, in fact, the knowledge we have about working with Meta. And this is because around, that's a long time ago, 12 years ago, I started my relationship with Meta. We started building a company called Joamo Media that ended up being the largest Spanish speaking community in the world. That one went into be the most active Facebook page in the world for almost more than a year. We were bigger than Shakira in some time. We were printing billions of video views and also billions of interactions every month. And because all of this decade with like Meta, previously known just as Facebook, we started developing a way to understand how to work with them. If I can give alpha to people that wants to try to build a blockchain based or Bitcoin based bot or relationship with Meta, I will say three things. One, you need to read the policies, the terms and conditions almost every day. So the alpha here is in Sati, we have someone that the only job is to read the terms and conditions or have a bot or whatever they use every week. So we need to know every single change in the perception of their policies. Because two, the strikes with Meta are fatal. If you get one strike, you're already in the blacklist. So you need to avoid this at every cost. And if you get three strikes, the perma ban is real. So your business can be just destroyed like this. So this is an unfair advantage. We know how to navigate this. The third one is one of the secrets is to have like multiple entities that are like already officialized by Meta. With this, I mean you need to create a specific Facebook entity or Meta entity to get validated. It's a long process, but you get validated. You need to link a Instagram account, a WhatsApp account, make it all official, make it only for the company, and I have it ready. And that's your Sati entity stuff. And then to be protected, you need to have another two or three with another names, quite similar description. Do not make them angry because of the policies. And if any case this account is taken down, you can shift that like a round robin system to the next available entity. And this is one, right? We have many techniques to go and survive all of these pickiness with the partner, but it's complicated. It's just the same as regulations with every country. We have licenses in El Salvador that allow us to do exchange and also custodial, but it feels sometimes easier to go compliant with some countries than actually be compliant with Meta. Anyway, if you survive that, you have an advantage in the market.
So I created my Sati wallet. I was going to show my WhatsApp screen, or maybe we could have some fun with that. And it was very, very easy. It was really easy. In fact, you click the button on the website, and it opens it in WhatsApp, and the message is pre-programmed, and you just start there. And you create a PIN number. It advises you to delete that PIN number, and that's it. So after you after you create it, you have this sort of payment page, kind of like a static page that you get. I guess you could send this to people. Your Lightning address is there, and you have some options for stable coins. So it's not like a creating an invoice, unless that's something that's done just inside the platform. So you know how how does this you know what do you do in the case of a reset? What do you do in the case of lost keys or something like that? I don't even know how that's possible for lost keys in this situation. I mean, if you deleted or archived that chat, and you just messaged it again, what would happen?
So we have different ways to recover this. The first one that we are about to release is the ability to export the keys on every single chain where you have stablecoins. So, for example, USDT is managed inside a EVM. USDC is managed inside a Solana wallet. The two of them have the same key or the same seed phrase. So this one is encrypted by the combination of your phone number and your PIN number. So we're giving this ability to the user to extract that secret. It's not yet there because we prioritize the users that are not that crypto savvy. So the first thing was about, and we got a lot of like critics about this. It's like, this is not working like my expectation. I'm trying to see the key, like many things from sophisticated users. Then when we have the conversation with the early adopters, we were like, look, your mom doesn't care about the key. Your cousin doesn't care about the key. In fact, the many nights and afternoons you spend trying to explain Bitcoin, they believe you because they love you. But by the time you try to push them to get the first wallet, once you mention the 12 words, you lose them. And they love you, but you are boring. And the attention is just gone. And the idea to make it super, super easy was the first priority. So we're sacrificing some of the sophistication or some of the fancy terms in order to make it easier, and the trade-off is just like trying to simplify the process. Now we are releasing that everyone can extract their secret, but in terms of the WhatsApp mechanism, we needed to be really, 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 really cautious about how to do it, because it's really, really common, people trying to steal your WhatsApp account. And this is because in countries like Brazil, now you can book a flight with your WhatsApp, right? In countries like Mexico, you can check part of your taxes with WhatsApp. So the WhatsApp account is pretty much becoming an ID. And the idea behind it is we need to be using the encryption of WhatsApp for on WhatsApp. People can attack you to do SIM swap. We cannot prevent that. This is something really important to mention, because in any country, if someone convince your telecommunication company that that person is you, they're gonna give him access to your phone number, and in that moment, they can pretty much just install WhatsApp with your identity. So we cannot prevent that. So we are pretty much trying to minimize this with education. You are going to be attacked eventually. So try to do this and that with your company. Second, let's say I successfully hack Mike. I will have your phone number. I will have your Sati access. But once I want to move the funds, it will request the PIN number. And then I cannot do anything, right? I cannot access that. Otherwise, I need to hack you also socially. So a social hack. So you need to be double attacked, and they need to successfully do it. On the other side is how to recover it when it's an accident. Well, it's really simple. You need to do a manual process, so a human process. Tell us that you don't have access, prove it, because eventually when you send the first time your first Bitcoin or whatever you're sending, we request your email. So we call this like a minimum KYC. It's just an email. We need to have some kind of connection with you. It could be Proton email, it could be a fake email. It's your decision. But this is going to be the only way we can communicate with you. So when you want to replace your WhatsApp account to another number, you need to contact us. We're going to send you some codes to your email, and then you need to prove in the new number that you have access to your PIN number. So we can do the translation. We can move everything. Everything is still encrypted, and the only way to decrypt it is the PIN number with a combination of that phone number. If you lose the phone number and you don't remember the PIN number, now we cannot do anything. Is the trade-off for financial independency? But yeah, we're trying to search more ways to not be that crucial. But currently, that's the only way.
So, who did you use on the back end for this for your Lightning integration?
So we have a hybrid model. At the really beginning, we start setting ourselves our nodes and channels. After we crossed the first thousands of users, it was complicated. So we start asking for help. We talk with people like Voltage, CBD, and IBEX, the guys helping the El Salvador government. At the end, we decided to go with them for the enterprise level solutions. So now we're doing, I would say, almost half our own infra, half the usage of IBEX. And we are about to jump into Spark. So we have some really nice experiments in the pocket with self custody powered by Spark. We also did some experiments with Blockstream to do self custody through Liquid, but yeah, currently it's pure Lightning. In the near future, users are going to be able to jump into pure non-custodial stuff in the Lightning part, because at the end it's really difficult Lightning from the part of setting your own node, understanding liquidity, managing channels. So we're trying to make it super easy for them, but it's gonna be a decision of the user at the end.
Well, I wish you were working with Breeze, but that's a whole nother story. Okay, so you start this thing. You say, "I want my Sati account." You delete your PIN. You set it gives you a profile, and then you're pretty much there. It says, "Here's your referral code," and you can check your balance. Now, I don't know why it doesn't say I have my 1,000 sats in there, but I wanted to see if we could play around a little bit with this with a quick demo. So if I'm going to receive now, first off, I mean, you can just send to my Lightning address, right? Or I can send to the Lightning address.
That's correct, and I'm about to send it. This is real time for whatever that is watching this. I'm sending some sats using my WhatsApp. Um, okay, so the user is the moose man at Sati. Okay, so simple. This is something that we're super happy with the implementation, because in the past the only perception of Lightning was about invoices. Now that we have this Lightning URL, people feel more comfortable just sharing this like email like, and yeah, it's simplifying a lot the experience. So now my WhatsApp is in Spanish. As you can see, the WhatsApp of Mike is in English. It's asking me where to send it. Maybe you cannot see it, but where to send it. I'm sending to a Sati user. It's asking the Sati user, the Mooseman, and then it's asking me if I want to send Sats or a whole Bitcoin. Unfortunately, I don't have a whole Bitcoin in my WhatsApp. Sorry for that, Mike. But we're sending here four 420 Sats just for the culture. It's asking me my PIN, and
So the PIN is
the
required
last
for every
thing
transaction.
for every transaction. That's
Oh,
correct.
that's cool.
And once is confirmed, it says, well, successfully you send it, right? And then in a moment, you should receive some kind of, yeah, let's go.
Now
You
I
have a
got a
new
number.
message.
Okay.
Exactly.
So I have a new message, and that says something that I can't read. But
New transfer.
I see 420 sats. Now I don't have to do anything here, right?
Nothing. Yeah.
I
So
can
you can
I,
just
so
go
I can
back.
archive this.
Yes.
And if I come back here under this, so there's
More.
no alert here. It comes in that new message, correct?
Yeah. And that's why we are like, we're trying to prioritize another technique, right? With WhatsApp. Do not send message in the same bot that are just like a utility, right? So it needs to be separated.
So I wanted to also check on this verifying identity. The first thing that happened when you start the conversation and you create the wallet, or should I say, you create your Sati account, um, is it says verifying identity. And then here I was doing an operation. I went back to the main menu, and again I got verifying identity. What is that? Is that just another way of talking about the actual phone number itself? Because
It is. It
I
is.
have not given this an email address or a name. It's just
Well, you are right. It's about the phone number. So something that we do here, well, to check your balance is balance. Um, is about checking if the
oh, you already have
encryption.
Azteco in. I was going to ask you about Azteco. You already have it. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah, and we can test it if you have one code. Anyway, long story short, we checked if the encryption of the WhatsApp communication is correct. It's that simple. If it's correct, if it's matching, you are not attacked by man in the middle. So we're happy to continue.
Got it. Okay. So that's great. My balance is 420. Um,
Let's go.
so so I want to get back to the menu. So I type hi Sati, right?
Yes.
Okay, verifying identity. Now, if I hit send, now let's say that somebody presents me with a lightning invoice that I want to pay. Do I have the ability to do that by clicking send here and using the camera on my phone, or do you have to copy and paste it?
Currently, you need to copy and paste it. In the next
So
version, you can send an image.
okay. So when I hit receive, there's no invoice here.
So invoices we detected is actually if you're a sophisticated user. So yes, we have it. You can go back to main menu and it's under the advanced settings. People use it actually, not that many, in more options. In that menu, when you saw Azteco, right there, you will see LN invoice, which is advanced, almost on the bottom.
I know I'm just reading everything else here. This one here.
Yes. And you can charge or pay one.
I see. All right, so let's do this. Let's charge, and then let's do another 420. Choose how many sats you want to receive. I'm going to choose 420, and I'm going to pay it here. And let's see what happens. Okay, but now I have to copy this
Yes,
for now, is what you're
for now.
saying. I got you. I don't know if I have a way to get this to myself right now. See if I have a wallet here. Um, I see, I see. And in the meantime, while I'm figuring this out, so tell us about the traction.
So we have two specific kind of traction inside the company. We started as a B2C company. So on the B2C part, we crossed 10K in December. We crossed the 20K at the end of May. And we're trying to get into the promised land. So the promise was to get to 100,000 users within a year. That would be March next year. Then we discover other ways to grow. So we call it distribution channels. Distribution are just partners. And from the partner side, we have really good traction. So now we have some techniques to attract people directly to the WhatsApp bot. Mostly they are like WhatsApp channels, WhatsApp groups, or just like any other kind of group where people try to get Bitcoin or just exchange some kind of stable coin. So those are the best because they already know what is going on. They have the need, and we just present a clean, simple solution. Um, the second part of the traction is the partners. So from the partner side, this this Bitcoin pool called Parasite is bringing something like 1,000 users per month. The idea is to get to 100,000 users within a year because they are producing their own bit access and they're ramping on the production. Everything is powered by Sati, so every single lightning address behind that bitax is gonna be a Sati user. And the second one is the Xverse partnership. That one is gonna unlock 1.5 million users. We think this kind of ramp up is going to happen in around 12 to 18 months, but we're expecting something like quarter million by the end of the year. Still, it's in testing mode. It's already working. The tech is there, but because there are two companies working together, we're really picky about details and UX and stuff.
Hmm. So I paid this invoice. I have not gotten any notification yet. I'm wondering if for some reason that's because I archived that thread. I would doubt it, but it is showing paid. So I'm just going to check the balance. Um,
Good option.
so, all right. So, what's the big picture here as far as the API and the integrations? Um, it's much more than a Bitcoin wallet, correct?
That's correct.
See, it's here,
Well, I
800,
love
840 sats.
I love that now you move like is this is your element? Click here, and yeah, I don't need to explain anything. So thanks for a demo.
So let me ask you this: if I want to send from here to a Lightning address, um, I can just do that, right?
That's correct. This is the small like a KYC or the kind of KYC we want to do
So now,
in
as soon
order
as I go to
to
make my first send, I have to tell it my
yes
name. How is
yeah.
it going to verify my name if I'm John Smith or Tom Jones?
So this is really interesting. There is a new move around the world about fair compliance. I don't know if you ever heard about it. So fair compliance is this concept where the company is just getting enough information from the user from their own will with their own data. And this means it, I don't want to say this, but it could be your name, it could be other name, but it's your declaration. And with this, some countries are happy with it. So it depends on the jurisdiction. You can even go to full revealing your identity until you reach a specific threshold of volume. For example, if you want to go on top of $5,000 per transaction, we need to get at least proof of address. But if you're doing it just for microtransaction under this 5,000, according to the law in El Salvador, we need to get only two data. One, your phone number, which we already have because it's on WhatsApp, and two, an email. And the email can be also whatever, right? In terms of the name needs to be declared by you, but it doesn't need to be exactly a legal name until you hit another threshold of volume. So some people are happy with this because they can use it almost anonymously. They took the decision, sorry, they made the decision to declare that name, and eventually when they hit this limit, they have the option to go fully doxed or not. Fair compliance is called.
So if this just asked me if I wanted to send funds to a phone number or a lightning address, and what, so that phone number has to be obviously a Sati number, right? What would happen if it wasn't? What is that experience like?
So super happy that you asked that. In the version that we're pushing in July, we're creating that we call pre-funded accounts. We're using a specific feature of Lightning where we can just hold an account until it is claimed. In other words, you will be able to send money to any phone number. The account is going to be created. The funds are going to be there waiting to be claimed. And once the transaction is confirmed, we send a message to this person on SMS, and then they can claim that Bitcoin. If they claim the Bitcoin, they will create a Sati account and welcome to the fam. If they don't claim the Bitcoin, we have a 21-day dead man switch in which we just bounce back the money to you.
Okay, so you're thinking you're going to have 250,000 users by the end of this year.
That's the goal.
So let's talk about the business model here. I have a slide from a fairly outdated deck. I don't know if you want me to show it or not. It has the on and off ramps and the swaps and the transaction based fees. But tell us, how does this business model work?
So we have different flows for monetization. The first one is related with ramps that I just explained in at the beginning of this interview. If the user tries to get from fiat to stablecoin or from fiat to Bitcoin, we're taking between 1 to 1.5%, so 1.5%. The same for the ramp off. So whatever that is ramping in or ramping off, we take this percentage. This is really a big pain in the market. So it's something that they feel the need to solve it, but it's not that frequent. And it's because it's still physical. You need to go physically there. You need to handle bills, right? So this is the not that scalable part, but still super painful. The second one are swaps. So this is the goal for second half of this year to enable swaps inside Sati in all the Sati ecosystem, where we can pass from stable coins to Bitcoin back and forth. Uh, People call it selling or buying Bitcoin. We just call it swap because we think eventually people will think just they're two different currencies exchanging. The trend that we try to get here is the creation of stable coins in another denomination. The most famous ones currently are USD base, but a lot of others are coming. Example, in Mexico, there is the MXMB powered by Bitso, one of the largest exchanges in Latam. And MXMB, which is the Mexican peso tokenized, is a stable coin that we're trying to deploy in Sati this quarter, and also be able to do these swaps. So it's going to be interesting the change of behavior where users think about moving from dollars to pesos, pesos to Bitcoin, Bitcoin to dollars as a swap mechanism, and start ignoring the fact that it's a foreign exchange, right? They're not gonna be like, okay, change me these dollars to pesos, but just swap me this token. So in the swap ecosystem, the business model is projected at 0.8% per transaction, and then have some minimums like a specific number of sats when you're going from Lightning to stable coins, just to keep the channels on. Finally, as I described before, the partnership ecosystem is strong. We believe the long shot or the moonshot is about enabling others to create Bitcoin based solutions on WhatsApp. And with this, we're trying to get some kind of analogy like what Telegram did in their ecosystem, the Ton ecosystem. We don't know yet how that is going to look next year. We're already working with some partners about building their bots based on the Sati technology. But we think all of these partners are connecting into this Sati universe, and all of them are going to have some kind of output to WhatsApp. So is the WhatsApp Bitcoin based movement coming? Well, we're betting on it. That's what the bet or the moonshot is coming. If we can create this kind of set of tools to be able to do, I don't know, buying a ticket, gambling, gaming, whatever you can imagine that we envision Lightning in the past, but to happen fast on WhatsApp. So that will be the moonshot.
All right. So finally, last question here. I want to leave it at this. So the future of Sati, what do you see on the roadmap? Um, is the primary focus more sort of wallet and financial partners in the Bitcoin space? Is it continuing to roll out features? Where are you directing most of your effort? What does the future of Sati look like?
I think the visual explanation of this is one of the slides I always share in the deck, where we explain the three layers of our architecture: the wallet manager, the API, and a lot of little cubes on the top. Exactly that one. I think this is the future. So the more time that is gonna pass, the more cubes we're gonna have on the top, and these cubes are gonna represent a specific partner or feature, but keep on using the same base, the same API, the same kind of wallet management. The idea is to simplify the custody for everyone, but make it so simple that they can access in a message. We're making some experiments with a Chrome extension using the same technology, and just imagine a Chrome extension could be an extra piece. For some reason, most of our partners are interested in the WhatsApp approach. So maybe it's because they haven't seen our capabilities into apps, web apps, or Chrome extensions. So we're testing this slightly to see if we catch fire there. But the clean signal is about double down on WhatsApp. We just don't want to get trapped with platform dependency, and because of this, we try to be as agnostic as we can. But the trend, I think, if everything happens this way, is that we're going to see more and more bots, and we want to be in the middle of that.
So then, is there a Sati account that I could also have simultaneously on Telegram or on other messaging services? Is that something that you thought about?
So the Telegram one is the one that we're experimenting right now. Something interesting about Telegram and WhatsApp is that the two of them use a specific protocol that share the knowledge based on your phone number. And because all the Sati accounts are based on phone number, either you can migrate your account to Telegram and use the same balance, just different front ends. But if everything goes down, we can also go to SMS, right? So eventually, if Telegram and WhatsApp fail for some reason, the access, you will be able to send Bitcoin using SMS. It's not that convenient, but at least you will have the exit option.
Awesome. Felipe, this is killer, man. And congratulations on raising a fully subscribed or oversubscribed round. You got a lot of big names on your cap table, and congrats on all the growth. And I hope to catch up with you here in person soon.
Totally. Happy to be here, and hopefully we can have a second episode with all the growth.
All right. Thanks for hanging out, Felipe. We'll talk to you soon.